All right. I talked about every year, end of the year, beginning of a new year, there's a list of best places to travel. They put some places on there that perhaps you would never think of, which is the point. So let's try to find out more, because if you're planning to get away, maybe this might be of interest to you. Tom Smith, Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Intrepid Travel, and he's on the line he's on the line right now. Mr. Smith, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good. So let me talk. I love that these lists get updated every year to places we never could have imagined. So let's start with some of this, I guess, more interesting or odder selections this year. Where would they be?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just for your listeners that might not have come across Intrepid Travel before, we're the world's largest adventure travel company. And every year we create something and release something called the Not Hot list. And it's exactly what you just said there. It's a way of people experiencing a destination that they might not have thought of before, or it's a way of trying to help the planet to take those tourists to places where might not normally get loads of tourists. And so there's loads of destinations that people are looking at for 2024 that might not be where you'd imagined. And some of the most popular destinations that we're seeing are places like South Korea, instead of going to Japan. Or going to, Peru, which is a popular destination, but doing one of the treks that is a little different. People have heard of the Inca Trail, but maybe doing one of the other treks to Machu Picchu, where, you're not following a whole crowd of people. You're kind of experiencing the destination for yourself.
Okay. I notice here in Canada, you have a couple on the list.
Yeah, I mean, we have, as a business, we travel to over 100 different countries and 1,000 different tours. So there's quite a lot of them. But I think in Canada, the East Coast is really popular right now. I had the pleasure of traveling to the East Coast of Canada myself in 2023 and traveled around Nova Scotia and did some hiking on Cape Breton Island as well, which was just spectacular. The scenery was amazing. The weather was great, and it wasn't super busy.
Question is, people hearing this are thinking, sounds great. Do you break it down by cost, for example? Not everyone can afford to go to Peru necessarily. If you wanted to stay closer to home, do you break down tours that way?
Yeah, I mean, we have a number of different ranges of tours. So, for those people that might not be able to afford to go to the really exotic places or faraway places, we have closer to home tours in the US or in Canada. But also we have tours that are different levels of comfort. So, for example, I did a hiking trip last year in the Canadian Rockies, and it's what we would call our basics range of tours. And that was, I was camping for a week in the Rockies. It was beautiful. It is nice. One of our more affordable tours. And, it goes right up to our premium range, which is obviously much nicer in nicer hotels. But there's definitely options for everybody, depending on their what they'd like to do.
Tom, I have a question about sort of if these things are cyclical. Like there's always destinations that suddenly become the hot spot, right? Like we discussed, like Iceland for a while. Everybody's going to Iceland. It seems right now like everybody's going to Portugal. And I know Sicily, everyone was going there because of the White Lotus. Can you wait it out a little bit? Like how, if a place is hot this year and you're feeling compelled to go there, would your advice be to maybe wait a while till it becomes slightly less trendy, less popular?
I mean, I think it really depends on what people want to experience when they're there. Travel at a certain time of year. If you're a school teacher, you've obviously got to go in when it's, school holidays, for example, and that kind of limits you to that particular time of year. But what I would say is if you're not limited by the time of year, you can still go to these really popular destinations. I mean, we have tours to Venice and Dubrovnik, which, are super popular. But you could choose to go out of season slightly. You could choose to go to Croatia or to Italy in May or June or September or October, where the weather is still great. But you might have a better experience because you're not going to be, stuck in the crowds. And I think the other thing that we really need to consider is climate change and the impact of climate change on some of these destinations. Mm-hmm. And, in Southern Europe, July and August are really, really hot. And do you want to be in those places when it's super hot, or could you go when it's, a little cooler? And, if you're not fixed to those particular summer dates, you still can go to those really popular destinations, but maybe at a slightly different time of year.
Let me ask you one last question as we run out of time here, because people are probably wondering, this all sounds great. Are there such things as last-minute deals, and is there the old story of, yes, it's best if you want to book a cheaper flight at a certain time?
The answer to both of those is probably yes. So, there are definitely last-minute tours and trips available. So, for example, we do, where we have trips where there are a few spaces left on them, if they're a couple of weeks out or a couple of months out, then yes, sometimes we do put those tours on sale, so it can be cheaper to wait a while until, a little bit before the trip and then go. Airlines are a little different. Airlines, it is cheaper to book the further in advance. Although, again, if it's to a destination that's maybe slightly out of season, that can be another advantage of going to that destination, because often you've got, airlines with seats and flights with seats available. And so that can be another way of people reducing the cost, but not necessarily sacrificing where they want to go.
Okay. By the way, you said adventure tours. Do you not have any that I could just go to, sit down and not do anything for a week?
Oh, we've got plenty of tours
Okay.
just for you. We have food tours. Do you want to eat for a week?
Food tours?
We can send you and eat for a week.
I'm in.
That's Aaron's idea of adventure.
That's adventure.
Right there. What's the website?
It's intrepidtravel.com.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
No problem. Great
There you
to talk
go.
to you guys.
Appreciate it. Tom Smith, there you go. Intrepid Travel. You want to take a quick look, see what's going on there? That might be kind of fun.